Hey, y'all. It's another edition of a Random Chaser. This time I don't know what we should call this one, but it's Sunday. It's your pals over at Wrestling on the Rocks, your drinking buddies. And of course, with the Chaser, I'm your hostess, Ms. Amanda Jane. And who, of course, do I have with me again, as usual?
I am the Digidamon, the best drinking buddy and worst bar fight ever.
Woo! No, you can't be team worst bar fight because you know what? I can't be the heavy all the time. All right. I can't be that one.
I never
Okay.
said who was getting the worst.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Okay. My
I got
apologies. My
history.
apologies.
My aunt would disown me. Let's be real.
Oh. Let's be real. Speaking of real, thanks, guys. It's been one hell of a week again. So
Yep.
remember with us, sometimes we can't do Thursdays, and this week, got a little family kind of thing going on myself. So sorry, but guess what? We're here, and it's
Mhm.
Sunday, and you know what? It's always a great time to drink. It is Sunday, so you guys know what we do here. Let's play a little game of what's in your glass, as we normally do. So I'll start it off because I'm boring,
Ooh.
as y'all know. I
Mhm.
just have regular Coca Cola because remember, guys. Oh, and it's in the
The
Deadpool,
Deadpool.
the Marvel cans. It's very interesting because most of those Marvel cans on the Coke are all like X-Men, pretty much. There's like Nick
Yeah.
Fury, Deadpool, the X-Men. Very interesting. There is no like true Marvel people. I thought that was very interesting. But anyways, this show's not about that shit and whatever. But so yeah, I'm drinking boring, but remember it is not boring. It does not matter what you drink. It matters who you're drinking it with. And my drink is boring compared to what I'm sure Digi has. And hey, Justin Time came into the chat. Cheers to you, Justin. Haven't seen you in these parts in a while. Mm-hmm. You're gonna love this one because we're gonna talk about Kenny Omega. Woo, Kenny Omega. Well, that's just a little teaser. So, what do you have, Digi, in your glass that we took a shot of and didn't tell anybody? Uh-oh. We're having audio problems. Remember, this is episode 1 of Wrestling on the Rocks, the Chaser edition. Yes. And if you're ever wondering why we can't get to episode 2, something always happens. So, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But honestly, I think like it's kind of like one of those long like series,
Yeah.
like TV series. Yeah. Those TV series that, the last episode has to be episode 2. That's the last one. And then it's done.
Alice. So,
I don't know.
as I was saying, Wild Turkey 101 bourbon. That shot was
Oh,
for you, Justin. It
take a
does.
drink. Yes. Okay. Let me tell you, y'all, if you're new to these parts, or even if you're an old timer, let me just tell you this. If this is not your first rodeo up at the bar, I will say if we took drink for every technical difficulty we've had, there are some episodes that unfortunately we'd have to take your keys away because you would not be legal to drive. Let's
I'm
just
not
say
legal
that.
to drive anyway, so
Well, for those who can, there you go. All
look,
right.
I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
Party foul.
Party foul, wild turkey, 101 bourbon. That's what we do. That's what we do.
Ooh.
All right. So, because I don't have my link, so I can't really tweet it out to people. But hey, if you subscribe, just like Justin probably saw us that we are live
Mm-hmm.
because he subscribed. You can find us at Twitter. No, it's X. Sorry, people get all mad, but X at Wrestling on the Rocks. You can also find us on Twitch and on YouTube. Yes. Yes. So yeah. So let's just get into the birthdays real quick. We do that thing. I kind of last time because we didn't know when we were going to be on the air. Kind of shot out a bunch of them, but let me just go through some of the highlights. Tom Lawler had a birthday. Mike Kanellis.
Mm.
Earl Hebner had a birthday because got to do the ref stuff. Dash Wilder, Andre the Giant, I don't know how people feel about Jimmy Superfly Snuka, but you know what? Birthday time. So yeah, rest in peace.
Superfly.
Uh, Malachi Black
Ooh.
is yes, his birthday is today. Happy birthday, Kip Sabian. Happy birthday, Road Dog. Happy birthday, Koda Bushi. Happy birthday. Let's see who else. Also, we do have Colton Gunn. Happy birthday. It's his birthday yesterday. Let me look at this here. Brian Danielson, happy birthday. Also to Tracy Brooks, Mrs. Frankie Kazarian, happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Shelley. And then, of course, hold on, we need to have a drink for this one. Um, if he was with us, I have to say a happy birthday to Bray Wyatt. Miss you, man.
Never gonna forget. Which that's a
Never gonna
topic I
forget.
want to step up on.
Oh, yes. So definitely that is who your birthdays are. If I forgot your favorites' birthdays, doesn't mean that I didn't know. It's just I didn't know. So please feel free to slide into my DMs at Ms. Amanda Jane, either on
Mm.
Instagram or X, and I will be glad to shout out the birthdays, even if
I'm
it
not
was a past
sliding into
one.
your DMs.
I think people are afraid to. But
Mm.
anyways, oh my goodness. So was a good week in the indies. Wanted to well, first I did not get to go to this, unfortunately, but West Coast Pro had a show last night. We had Marufuji was wrestling Titus Alexander.
Mm.
We had Jeff Cobb come back, which I'm always pro Jeff Cobb being there. I'm a little sad that my boys C4, Cody Chun and Guillermo Rosas was not able to beat those stupid bratty people from Los Angeles, Los Suavecitos. God, I hate them. Just like you have a little barking chihuahua and then his friend. And that's horrible, horrible. And then the partner with Adrian Quest. Oh, it's like this is like Santino Brothers rejects. Ugh. And if you're from the West Coast, you know what I'm talking about. Santino Brothers has given us some great wrestlers such as Brody King and Jake Atlas, to name a few, if you did not know. So, yeah, great card. Also, I did want to tell you guys, but I'll promote this later. If you are in the Northern California area on next Friday, there is a rare, and I'm talking rare, indie appearance by the Absolute One for Kirk White's Big Time Wrestling. And oh, Willis, he's high.
Willis.
Yeet, yeet. Okay,
Yeet.
so
Yeet.
yeet, yeet, yeet. Okay, Willis will be there at this this show. Yes,
Willis.
He's also doing a meet and greet, and I before and while Willis is here, will say this: the only time I've ever been to BTW was last year when Colt Cabana was there.
Mm-hmm.
I was treated so awfully. I have pictures. I was crying. Okay, okay. The wife of Kirk White, who's passed on, and her daughter run this promotion now. It's always
Mm-hmm.
been kind of corny. Okay, they pulled a real carny on me when I bought a front row seat. I was like way in a fucking corner, and I couldn't see shit. And that was a front row seat. I didn't know it wasn't first come first serve because that's most promotions, or they'll tell you that there's assigned seating, or if there is assigned seating, you get to pick it. But anyways, was treated like shit, and whatnot. Somebody called me a rat, and yeah, and Willis says facts 100 exactly. So I said I will never, ever, ever, ever step foot in that promotion. Give them my money. And originally Ricky was not on the card. Will Hobbs was on the card. They totally changed the card around because I'm pretty sure Ricky said, I'm not wrestling, just anybody. Because God forbid someone else on this card, Jerry Gigolo, the only other time Ricky Starks has wrestled in the Bay Area was West Coast Pro. Who fucking got him that booking? You're talking to her, okay? Anyways, so what I'm saying is this. If you've always wanted to meet Ricky Starks or see him wrestle in person, I will probably guarantee I have a 95% possibility that we will see Bear Peach next Friday.
Nice.
We will. So Willis has to record because, you know, I shoved Willis last time we saw Ricky in Oakland. I got all excited his entrance. It was barely the first note of his entrance. I'm like, Ricky! And I shoved Willis out of the way. Yes. Okay. And Willis says Amanda's real. I never want to see Amanda said when it comes to and indie wrestling shows. Again, facts 100. Yes, sir, 100. So yes, there will be peaches. I'm excited about that. And yes, I don't care. I mean, you can call me whatever you want, but goddamn, I am the fucking president of the goddamn fucking Ricky Starks Ass Appreciation Society. And people can fucking try to say that they are, but they're not, because I know I am. God damn it. I'm a fucking
Willis.
founding member.
Hey, Willis, I want you to act as our reporter when you go to that show. Let us know what happened. Let us know how it was. We would like to, you know, make that conversation happen.
Yeah, he'll probably say, oh, you pushed me again. She got so excited. La la la.
Man,
you know,
jumps the barricade.
I'm not going to jump a barricade. All I'll do is push the people in the front row out of my way. What are they going to do? Fucking kick me out? He's not the main event. So I'd be all, okay.
Saw what I wanted.
Saw what I want. Well, actually, no. I'm like, I will say, you are not letting me, you're not kicking me out until I see that motherfucking bare ass. I will say that. And then I can see Willis now. I don't know her. I don't know her. Vote now. What are we voting for, Willis? And Willis says say less. So yes, we will. He will have a report. We'll film it. So yay. Also, yes. So if you are interested in seeing Ricky, I will tell you this. He probably, if you are in the area, this will probably be one of the only times that he will probably do an indie until he goes somewhere else. However, if he stays, which we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but you know, fuck it. I'm just going to talk about it right now. So he did a interview with a lovely British man. Was it What Culture Wrestling? I don't remember. But anyways,
yeah. What
shout out to you, British. Right. Yep. Shout out to you, British guy. Anyways, so Ricky was a 51-minute interview, and he was asked the question, and Ricky says that he doesn't know why he's not wrestling, you know. And it's very interesting to me because, you know, he says he's glad that Bill's getting a push. He's also, let me see here. Let's pull this up. Hold on. I'm bad. See, this is again why we can't
have nice things.
Okay. He doesn't like to talk about his contract. He says he needs to have something, you know, to the chest. And, you know, so he's not telling anybody. He has no clue why Tony Khan isn't using him. It also says, and I quote, I don't know. I would hope so, but I really don't know. Every time I always predict something to go my way, it doesn't go that way. And it kind of just leaves me being like, well, we'll just figure out and see. I really have no clue. It's just a very interesting time. I feel like I wish that I was on Dynamite, or I wish I was on Dynasty. I wish I was on these things. But I think at a certain point, just for my own sanity, I can't go too crazy about it because the proof is in my work and my effort that I've constantly given. You know, this is something where I think the that before pre AEW Ricky, that he was in the same boat. Like, why don't people like see me? Why don't people know? And things like that. And I feel for him. I really, really do. I do. But at the same time, it's like you're not he you're not very you're not very subtle about who your friends are. And I mean, yeah, I know it's stupid. Like, you shouldn't have to, if you're friends with someone on one, whatever brand or another, whatever, it shouldn't matter. But unfortunately, you're dealing with somebody who has a little, I don't know if it's really a Napoleon complex, because I know he's a small man, but I don't know what it is. He's definitely a control freak.
It's
And
the bigger dick theory at play here. I mean, if you look at the way that you know some of this booking is, and I don't even think AEW fans can deny the fact that he's using specific people all the time, to the
Mhm.
point to where you have at least 2/3 of the roster that's barely getting any time. They're dark matches at best. Not that they can't shine, not that they can't get over. It's they're not being given the opportunity to. And I think that's the bigger thing here is, Vince McMahon's biggest problem is that he presumed he knew what was best for the business. And maybe 80s and 90s that was true. But in the 2020s and the late 2010s, he'd lost the plot, and that I think that's where it is he's trying to emulate that, thinking that's what's how you run the business, but you can't run that business when you're barely pulling a 2.4 demographic, or you're barely selling, 1,700 seats. It's just not there.
No. I think this also goes back to, I think, what we've been saying on episode 1, that,
Mhm.
you know, AEW is not the company that Cody and the Bucks created, and
Nope.
Kenny and all of them. This is not that company. And, it's painfully obvious now that, you know, it is what it is. Cody left to go back to WWE. It wasn't that he was plotting it all along, because, to be quite honest, I think he was really happy with what
He's
he
done
was doing.
interviews about this.
Mhm.
Something he said was as similar to, I knew the writing was on the wall,
Well, mhm.
and I decided to go somewhere else, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And my thing is, it's like, the reason why is because he was in Gorilla with Tony. Okay.
Hmm.
He was trying to, he put a lot of, that was his effort, and care in
Right.
AEW, right? A lot of it were like, well, what did the Bucks contribute, right? They're EVPs. Well, a lot of it on that end, there was a lot of merch. A lot of it was because they know a lot of people. They were the ones, along with, CD obviously was doing the talent relations, but they were the ones out there getting people,
Right.
and doing
Like,
that. And I knew that from the beginning. So,
I
I
think
mean,
that's really where they've been at. Like, every
yeah.
EVP had a very particular set of skills,
Hmm.
and they went towards that. It's just none of them was telling him no.
That's the problem. And I think, money talks is what they say, and things. And I think that, it's very also, this is also very telling, because also Conan this week
Hmm.
had made mention that Tony Khan was upset with him and had said a few choice words. Do you have that in front of you, or do you need me to pull that up?
Go ahead and pull it up. Tell me what's what,
Okay.
because
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Uh,
I
and
like making you a reporter.
okay. Okay. So apparently, Tony Khan barred AEW talent from watching the Royal Rumble 2023. Hmm.
Okay.
So, Conan sheds light on an alleged backstage incident with Khan leading up to 2023's WWE's Royal Rumble.
Hmm.
And it said Conan, and he said this on Keeping It 100. Um, he was saying that he allegedly had barred AEW talent from watching the show. he had said here, this is back in 2022 where he booked Dragon Lee and Dralistico to win the AAA World Tag Team Championship from FTR. And
Makes sense.
the following day, Dragon Lee signed with WWE despite interest from AEW. In the Conan said his decision to put the titles on Lee and Dralistico came before Lee even inked a deal with WWE. Still, it irritated Tony, according to Conan, and led to a face-to-face conversation between the two. Conan said he went off. He was like, yeah, why are you guys doing this? And I can't believe you did this. And you stabbed me in the back. And you should have told me before. Conan clarified Khan's position, suggesting Khan didn't want him to work with WWE. Conan claims that Khan denied the accusation, saying, "No, I didn't say that. I have 2 witnesses saying I didn't say that." Despite Khan's objection, Conan claimed that on the same day, Khan issued direct orders to his company regarding the 2023 WWE Royal Rumble, which starred former AEW and eventual winner Cody Rhodes. He basically gave an edict, said Conan. "I better not find anybody watching that show." And his co-host, Disco Inferno, pushed back, saying he wasn't aware of this incident. Conan insisted he had no reason to lie and encouraged his podcast partner to verify his story with Disco's connections in AEW. And then, as Conan says, people that were in the room knew it, and the wrestlers that were told. Everybody in the dressing room knew it, bro. Now, hearing this, because this came out this week, okay, in light of after Ricky's things. So, is Ricky being punished for being at, WrestleMania? Is he being punished for, being friends with Cody and Jade Cargill? That's stupid. Maybe. Tony Khan's stupid. Okay. First of all, I don't know. I'm right now, because of sports in my Oakland Athletics. I don't like owners of these like sports teams and whatevers right now. And you know what, dude? Like, this looks bad for you, but people who founded the company, it makes them look bad. That's just my opinion. But
well, let's cut the emotion out of it for a minute. Okay. Mm-hmm. Cut the emotion out of it.
Okay.
Conan is not known for lying. He's very savvy with his business. He treats the talent well, probably better than most promotions, period.
Yep.
So for him to say this, I would put a lot of credence, because when Tony Khan's been put in the fire about things, he avoids a question or he gets belligerent. Okay. So I
or
could
he
see
has
that
this
happening.
look. Yeah. Or the deer in the headlights look. Yeah.
Now, could I see that, people being punished on the basis of this? Yes. There's nothing contractually about 2023's Royal Rumble, and you have to figure what was going on about that time. He was pushing the idea that AEW was like WCW, and he was actually legitimate competition. This is where his ego comes into play, and I could see him putting somebody, burying them and then pulling them off TV, which is exactly how Ricky ended up. He got buried and then pulled. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And he's not the only one. Like, look what they did to Kazarian. They fired him publicly. Doesn't matter if it's a shoot. They fired the Fallen Angel. Why?
You mean CD, not Kazarian.
I think they fired them both.
No, Frankie never resigned.
He never resigned?
He walked away. Yeah, he walked away. Yeah, he walked away.
And that tells you something, because he was TNA when it was originally TNA. Mm-hmm. He was badass then. He's probably going to go back there now, as he should. Because their product is different. But it's like, why is that? And I really do agree. I think it's an ego thing. Because, like, Why the fuck is he going to get into a Twitter flame war with Eric Bischoff? Bischoff gets off on pissing people off. He
Mhm.
said it directly. He gets off on pissing people off. He thinks it's fun. And it takes very little. And a lot of these AEW guys like to talk shit, but you always have about halfway down. Well, they're not dying. There's nothing wrong. They're making money. They're drawing. And I'm like, when they started outright, they were hot. That was when you had everybody there. And then progressively, year after year after year, their primary stars are leaving. They're pulling pretty much retired stars who can't take a bump, and indie stars who are fucking dangerous. So they're progressively losing. I mean, we're talking they filled Wembley. 90% of that was just so people could say they were there.
Mhm.
But at the average televised, just in television, they're losing like a good quarter of their audience every time.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
what are they going to do with that? Like, if their pay-per-view buys go but so much lower, people can talk shit about TNA all they want. TNA is going up in viewership.
Mhm. Yeah.
They're going down. Like, we're seeing the rise of
Yep.
TNA, and it's
Mhm.
shitty bookers and shitty booking that's causing this to happen.
Yep. And I will tell you, I would not be surprised
Mhm.
if, like, let's say, like a Wardlow. This is another one on the shelf for whatever fucking reason. Okay.
I
A
think
lot of
it's
people say,
shoulder.
"Oh, he sucks." Oh, here's a question from Joseph. Hi, how you doing, dude?
Hi,
Does
Joseph.
anyone get along with the Young Bucks? They seem like passive aggressive pricks. Actually, yeah, actually,
Yes.
people do get along with the Young Bucks. A lot of people do. They're very respected. Now, what you see on TV, Young Bucks, is I've known the Young Bucks, good Lord, a long time now, like going to indie shows, PWG, whatever, and whatnot. And they're actually some really cool people. And, some people can say, well, you know, what the hell? But no, I think with this one is there's a lot of sarcasm with this current storyline with it. And it's also very tongue in cheek because, you have to think about it. Okay. Um, one of the Matt's wife, Mrs. Matt, she used to be the VP of merchandise because of the Young Bucks back in the day, even before Pro Wrestling Tees, their merch was legit. Like they had a great like empire. They made a lot of money. And they had a lot of creative stuff that, went behind it, especially when you look at the original BTE and stuff. Now, you look at it and you get people like, you Phil, that whole thing with Phil.
You
Okay.
need to define who Phil is because there are
Oh,
more
I'm
than one.
sorry. They're sorry.
Use
Phil
their
Brooks.
gimmick name.
All right, Punk. I don't like to call him that.
Don't care.
Okay.
It helps
CM, okay,
identify who we're talking about.
okay, but most people know. So CM Punk, that obviously there were some personal things that were behind that as well, because honestly, his ex best friend was the reason why they got that big. One of the reasons why probably independent wrestling became what it did. That's why Pro Wrestling Tees happened. So
Oh,
you gotta figure out that they're very loyal people. They're good to people who are good to them. I've seen it with their fans. I've seen it in all different aspects, and
they
people do like the Bucks. So
the Young Bucks they seem like that because they're very good at their job, and they did the Joshi, they ran the roads, and they're very good at when they turn heel. You believe it. You want to slap the
mhm.
taste out of their mouth because that's the way they
Yep,
were taught.
yep,
But
bratty, yeah, the whole
I know
thing.
people that have known them since way back, and they are probably the nicest people ever. But they're also very good at their jobs. So I mean, I can
Yep.
understand where you would see like passive aggressive pricks, but no, they're good people. They're in a shit situation if we really want to look at it. because they might be EVPs, but they're being treated specifically as talent, as if there's a separate contract.
Yeah.
They're the drivers of the merch as best they can, because
Mhm,
AEW would not have merch without the Young Bucks. Period.
mhm.
They were the set, salt, and everything else. So when anything happens with the talent, accusations get made, it hurts.
Hi, yeah. Okay, Joseph says, hi, yeah. I was just wondering because it feels like the top guys leave that place and are whispers of the Young Bucks being involved somehow. Well,
Um, yeah,
the
without
only
getting too
person, yeah.
specific, is when they recognize that one of their friends or somebody in the business is not going to deal well with that locker room, they're pretty honest about it. They're honest
Yeah.
about everything that they do, and they take care of their people.
Mhm.
And some people just think like they don't know all the pieces, so they get like real butt hurt. Um, am I wrong, Amanda?
No, you're not wrong at all. And as far as I know, the only person that has left that's a top guy uh was CM Punk. And
Cody also left. Cody was hard.
but Cody did not have a problem with the Young Bucks.
No,
Okay, that's a false narrative,
I don't.
and
CM Punk
it's
doesn't either. To my understanding, he doesn't have a problem with them specifically.
n-
He has a
uh,
problem with their boss.
he has a
He,
problem with their boss, and he has a problem with one of their very good friends. Yeah,
that's fair, but
that's
specifically
fair.
them, no.
No, no, and same with Cody. Like, no, I mean, the thing with the Young Bucks is everybody needs a scapegoat. And with CM Punk, his narrative, he wants to put the blame on, this is just my opinion. I see it.
Hmm.
He just wants to put the blame on everybody else. It's not him. He doesn't have the problem. It's everybody else has the problem. He's fine. But, sometimes it's like you need to look within yourself too.
Some people don't mesh with the locker room, and egos
Hmm.
clash.
Yeah.
You know,
And some people are very, they're coming from you got to remember the Bucks are coming from a background where the indie locker rooms are completely different than a
they
WWE locker room.
they
Or
came up like the Hardys.
yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
the real difference between them and the Hardys is that Matt is broken and very fucking creative in what he does.
Hmm. I mean, they can be too in their own way, but also the
Yes.
other difference with them and the Hardys too, as well, is that with the Hardys, they've gone everywhere now. Okay, they've been
Hmm.
everywhere, and it's like, so they've seen everything, right? And Cody, you got to remember, he grew up in the E, then he went to the Indies, and
He
I'm
grew
pretty
up.
sure if you were to ask him,
He
and
did
I will say,
FCW. He grew up
mhm,
in. He grew up in Florida. He did a lot with WCW because he was back when his brother was running a gimmick. Dusty Rhodes was doing some of the book.
but it's a little
WWE
it's a
isn't
little,
until later.
I know, but it's a little different though with him, though.
Fair.
But like a true modern independent wrestling, because the Indies then with the territories and stuff is
Then
completely
why
different
don't we talk?
than now.
Then why don't we go back to the line of? All right. So what is the why could
The
have?
rumor left AEW. He will never tell the
Um,
story for sure. Well,
the rumor that I have come to understand, we've heard two different ones.
just two.
My understanding is that towards the end of his run, he recognized where the company was headed. It was not the company they started, and he felt that he needed to step away for the sake of his career and his family, because he had a kid on the way,
Mhm.
and he went to the E because, in terms of paycheck and financial stability, they were the best ones. He knew all the players, he knew how to handle it, so it wasn't a big issue for him. And now he's like their top pick. So that's the way I've understood it.
Yep, same here. Also, the other rumor that a lot of people like to
Cheers, Joseph.
say, the other rumor out there is that um he's always wanted to go back to WWE because, he didn't get his big moment over there, so that's what he wanted to do. But honestly, when you saw Cody when he did his stint in the Indies after his WWE
Running a
run,
Bullet Club
initial,
out of Ring of Honor.
hmm he went to almost every big. Oh, cheers to both of us! Thank you, man. He went to every big indie that was out there.
Oh
Wrestling
yeah,
Revolver, PWG. He did APW. He did Defy. He did them all pretty
his
much.
his best work was
And
Ring of Honor and Revolver. Let's just be real here.
actually, you know what? He had good work everywhere.
Right,
Period.
but
Like,
his best work was like if we were to turn Cody Rhodes heel right now, literally he flips and he has got two other leaders of the Bullet Club, four former members.
mhm,
The bloodline would mean fuck all. That's
yeah,
how quick they could turn this.
I think though with Cody, um, the biggest thing, and it goes back to it because if anybody watched Roads to the Top, okay,
Hmm.
and everyone's like, scripted reality. Mm, you saw him back in Gorilla with Tony Khan.
Yep.
And when you looked at him, okay, and there was moments, and I'm not saying because, oh yeah, Ricky Starks, whatever, but there was moments, and not even just that, but with Jade and things like that, and even Brandy. God, I was like, what? Okay, but you saw that he actually took the time, and he was like helping people, just like how why they had Arn there, Arn Anderson. That's why Tully Blanchard was there. That's why all of these guys were there. You know, and
And
I feel that Tony was like, I'm losing control of this. And this is just my narrative with it, my opinion. And that, you're taking too much away from him because he's the money. So,
well,
it's obvious. He'll never say because that's none of our damn business. But you can kind of see and piece your own story, but he's never going to let you finish it.
like I don't
So,
know for sure, but you know, when I look at what they have now, I think they have a fantastic locker room full of amazing people that could put on the best matches of their lives, bar none. Okay, they got the talent, they got the TV, which we'll get to that in a second. They've got the connections, but here's what's happened, and you could tell something was fucked in the beginning because Arn left, Regal left, Tully left, Jake left, and these are four hardened veterans.
but he's kind of back and forth. He was back for a little bit. Now he's gone again.
He gets paid, he shows up, but he's not permanent. He's
Yeah.
not a permanent
Yeah.
producer backstage,
Hmm.
you know. And so you look at that, and those are your death knells. Like those four guys grew up when it was hard, when they were
Hmm.
barely making a hot dog and a handshake for everything.
Yeah.
And I could see a lot of conflict where Cody grew up under the learning tree of one of the best bookers ever to exist in the business. The man who rode a
Yeah.
horse to the ring in a mask, calling himself the Midnight Rider for a title he could no longer challenge for. Had never been seen then, has never been seen since. And I could see a conflict of personalities because I feel like Tony Khan books based on the IWC, Internet Wrestling Community. And that's a very small, very loyal band of people. But as a general audience, you have to think in terms of TV. I hate agreeing with Eric Bischoff, but he's got a point. Booking wrestling is one thing. Booking a TV show with wrestling is an entire other because you have to appeal yourself to the vast largest audience possible. So WWE learned. WWE was on such a downturn towards the end of their run with Vince McMahon as creative that because the stories were nonsensical, nobody kept anything straight, and a lot of the talent who are really fucking good, like a Cesaro, who could have been pushed to the moon and back, weren't used because accent. That's it. Which, you know, that's kind of bullshit. You know, so to a degree, AEW's got it right, but they're not booking TV. They're trying to book wrestling and then TV after the fact. And we're kind of seeing that now. You know, the latest
Uh,
Young Bucks plot, I think, is their attempt to get back in the game. I do feel like maybe there's a kernel of truth to that. You know, they're trying to clean out the locker room of people that aren't meshing. I think that's true, or they're correcting behavior. And I also think the idea is that um, at some juncture, the talent is stepping up, the producers are stepping up and saying, stop. You know, Paul Heyman, as an example, isn't a. Okay. I'll get to that, Joseph. Paul Heyman was and is the most creative guy in the history of professional wrestling, right? He needed somebody to pull his fucking leash. I think the same thing is here. Joseph says, I really think AW got hurt by Vince's final ouster. They were an alternative, but when Triple H took over, they were much less of one. And I agree with that. Because you look at the shit they're doing with Uncle Howdy. You look at the production of the Bloodline. You know, you look at all of these pieces, these connected stories. The draft actually fucking means something. You know, these are things that that fans were clamoring for forever. You know, and that I agree. And like, we
mhm.
can't turn the Young Bucks into the Generation X. It's just not there.
Nope. they're their own. They're their own little like weird entity. And I think also too with Triple H, yeah, because let's go there. Like back in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
that's when they did the big 2017, 2018 was when it was the big push of let's actually end of 2017. Let's book these
Mm-hmm.
indie guys. That's when they
Right.
got Ilya Dragunov. That's when they got Gunther. That's when they got wow, I can't believe I'm saying Gunther instead of Walter. I think I'm over that now. um, you know, Bronson Reed, Ricochet, all of those guys. And now notice this is one thing that I've noticed, and people said, "Oh no, you're full of shit." But ever since a certain, well, okay, let's be nice. Okay, ever since Will Ospreay got there, do you notice who I see more on WWE and I hear more about what he's doing is
Yeah.
Ricochet, because I've always said, and other people have said, that Will Ospreay is a poor man's Ricochet because they have the
Right.
same set. You watch the two of them, you know, one is far superior than the other.
Ricochet's
And
also
then
been in the business longer. I mean,
no, not that much,
yeah,
not that much, not that much longer, not that much.
but there's being in the business and then being in the business. Ricochet was Prince fucking Puma and Lucha Underground, arguably one of the best
Yeah, but
performances of his career.
oh, I know, but also got to remember too, right? They've also they've run a lot of the same circles out there too. So when
Like,
Ricochet was doing New Japan, and he's part of KO. I mean, all of that shit. But the point I'm saying is that they knew then with that indie boom, okay.
right.
But also you've got to when you see people like the Young Bucks, a lot of WWE is very cookie cutter, okay. They don't fit the mold. So like you want to think of AEW in its inception, going to the original All in Chicago. You look, it's like Island of Misfit Toys. That's what it was.
The Usos were
And
the Young Bucks, plain and simple.
yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
You know, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of asimilar names that are now with one major name or another that are pretty much that same line. Like you look at Lash LaRue, who is known as PCO, okay? The
Hmm.
Canadian Monster, the Canadian Man, okay?
Hmm.
That was basically their revision of Abyss, and Abyss was basically a similar line to Kane and The Undertaker, but more of a hardcore tint.
Hmm.
You know, you
Yeah.
like
Yeah. They don't, yeah. They don't have, like, they don't have anybody to fill the void of, okay, what did John Moxley bring to them?
John Moxley, when tempered with the right gimmick, the
Mhm.
Shield, and that line, which was under Triple H's directive, was great. It was when that gimmick got twisted that people were like, bye, and he
Yeah.
left. Like, you can tell
And
right off the
so,
bat.
yeah, I'm going to go on to Moxley in another tangent in a moment, but
Sure.
which is very interesting. I don't know if you had kind of heard this, but speaking of him, Jeff Cobb had recently took from Zack Sabre Jr. the New Japan World Television title.
I knew
We
that.
all know it's like a 15-minute, match and whatnot,
This is a
right?
real banger.
Uh, they always had bangers, let me tell you. And the one thing that I thought was great and was that at the after match interview, because those are always great to kind of watch. That's kind of their promos in New Japan. If you're not familiar, he was like, he says, I'm okay with that because 15 minutes is not my type of match. You know, but he did well considering. I mean, I think he went 16-0 before he lost his first one,
Yep.
and so it is what it is. So one thing with Jeff Cobb
Mm-hmm.
was he he's been very vocal about after our buddies, our sister company over here at AEW, their people win belts and they just come and go whenever they please. They don't go do the road show, the tours that they're doing in Japan, because those are brutal, from what I've been
Yeah.
told by people who've done them.
The jet
And
lag
the
alone.
jet, not just the jet lag, but
Jet lag,
a
the
lot of those
culture.
towns. Well, no, the towns that they go to, they're on a bus for like eight
Yeah.
hours, and it's like, come on now. And it's not a luxury bus, people. I mean, it's like a fucking regular like, Greyhound bus, okay? It's not one of
Yeah.
those super pimped out buses, okay? No, it's not that. So, when you look at it, and he's bringing that storyline into it, he says it's pissing all of us off. Like, why the fuck? What the fuck is
Mm-hmm.
going on with this? And he says, so anybody can have, um, a IG, a chance at
I
that belt that he has,
the
you know,
IWGP, yeah.
GP. Anyone can have it. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
shit anymore. And
Not like he
Jeff
used to.
Cobb, not like it used to. Jeff Cobb is one that, he hasn't had much TV. The only TV he really had was Ring of Honor when he was signed with
Which,
Ring of Honor.
yeah,
And he didn't do much promo work, right? But I am
no,
so proud of Ohana. Let me just tell you, he blew me away. Blew me away with this. And I think that, can't wait to see him next time, because I'm going to tell him, because I joked with him. I said, so when are you going to take over the goddamn United Empire? That idiot, we don't need that. You don't need that idiot doing it. And he goes, yeah, I'm not a leader kind of guy. You know that. And I go, yeah, I know. But now I'm like, dude, kick him to the curb. Don't invite him back. Don't invite him back. Don't take it over. You, Great O'Con, y'all are fine. Maybe you can keep Aussie open. I don't know, whatever. But
why not?
yeah, why not? So I think that there's this narrative, and he's like, when I look at Moxley, it's like he's like one of Tony's favorites. So you always
Yeah.
see him, on every single thing, every single show. Okay, I thought that with the inception of Collision, okay, we had Dynamite had some people on it. Some people were going to be on Collision. And then sometimes some people were going to be on Rampage, where it was a connection of both. And even Ring of Honor. People are on Ring of Honor. No. I don't need to see Undisputed. I don't need to see the Kingdom every fucking show. Don't need to see that. I don't need to see, Moxley on every fucking show. Just as I don't need to see Will Ospreay on every fucking show. Right? I don't. I really
Absence
don't.
makes the heart grow fonder. Once you become so consistent you don't exist anymore, it's like think the
Ricky.
New World Order. No, think the
Yeah.
New World Order.
Yeah.
It became so bloated and expected so much that it's
Mhm.
bad boy, coming out from the fans, crowd gimmick and everything that they were doing lost its meaning. They tried to refresh it by splitting them into segregate splinter factions, pretending to be the Bullet Club, because
Mhm.
that's at that time that's what the BTE thing was kind of going through, was the evolution of the Bullet Club. And then as it came through, what did it matter anymore? They just became another stable. Whereas, you take the bloodline as a whole, even with Roman Reigns involved, it wasn't every episode. It was a couple of times. When he did an appearance to wrestle, it was special, it was specific, and there was a storyline running up to it.
Yep. We don't need, like, I don't understand what John Moxley's story is.
His,
I
his
also,
story is he's John Moxley.
yeah, I guess so. I don't understand why you're taking Darby Allin, okay? Fucking got hit by a bus a month ago, right? Or something like
Yeah,
that. Motherfucker is wrestling at Double or Nothing next week. Are you fucking kidding me? I've always
that's
said that Darby Allin's going to die in the ring, okay? And I don't want to be there to watch it. That makes me very uncomfortable. And I remember the first time I met him, I told him that sometimes it's very hard for me to watch you wrestle. And he asked me why. And I said, because I'm afraid you might die. And what he said to me, he's like, we're all going to die. So what the fuck, right? And I'm like, true.
fair enough.
But I just don't want to pay to see that. This is me. Yeah. So that's where it's funny, because now Tony had to go to his people that he knows, like, oh, I know that, I can get shit out of Darby Allin. Everyone loves Darby Allin. Well, what if this ends his fucking career? The guy was hit by a fucking bus, broke his fucking nose or whatever the fuck. He had already has injury, and you're gonna
Yep.
no, that just doesn't it just doesn't make sense to me, right? There was like like, you have so many people who are very healthy, and it's funny because I look at it and I'm like, if you had put Ricky in with like Danielson and stuff, it's like, yeah, I know you and I had our thing, but whatever. That would have been great, because he had a program with FTR, and there was all that shit with FTR, even when he had the titles with Bill. So there, right there, boom. There's also a lot of people that you can do. Okay, you're showing me a promo a couple weeks ago, Scorpio Sky. This is the third time he's done something and tried to come back again, and I'm like, I feel for the guy. I'm like, third time. It's like, you gotta walk away at some point. I mean, I don't
People are
know.
learning a hard lesson, and this is something we heard
Yeah.
from Tama Tonga, who is
Mm-hmm.
a legend. Him and his brother are fucking legends. The God.
Mm-hmm.
The
The
Gorillas
original
of Death.
God. Not the one with no offense to Hikuleo, no offense
We
to
love Hikuleo.
ELP. No offense to those two. Fucking love both of them.
Right. But,
Yeah. They're not
you
the
know,
OGs
he was
of the
asked
God.
why did he choose to go to WWE? And this is a straight up interview. And he said, I had the choice between the money or my career. And I chose my
Mm-hmm.
career. As far as I'm concerned, AEW is the mid card, and I know I'm better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Damn right.
some stars are
Damn
starting
right.
to say and letting their contracts lap because
Mm-hmm.
they're either being buried or booked poor, and it's affecting careers now. And that's like, we normally talk independents, but a lot of these independent stars that are getting this call up, they're getting fucked. Like, and not in a good way. They're being put in
No.
nonsensical storylines where, like Monet, okay? Long promos have never been her strong point. Short, sweet, to the point. You take a person like her who's only good at short promos and you tell her to fill time for 15 minutes. unless she's really produced, it's not going to work. And even funnier is that because she knows what's what and how things are supposed to be produced and all that, she outshines everybody even when she's faltering. Like, I want AEW to succeed. I want these people to get the shine that they deserve, but goddamn, don't make me beg for it. You know?
Yeah. Pardon, people. We had a small little earthquake over here. I was like, oh,
Oh,
sorry. You're like, what the hell? Yeah. No. I think that yes, career is important, but also right now at the indies, unfortunately, right now, the indies, there's not a lot of great new talent that's out
so there
there.
is. So there is.
Well, there's not a lot, not like there was like in that boom, that bubble, like then,
Right.
right?
That's true.
Because the cream of the crop, really, of the
Gonna
latest
rise to the
ones,
cream of the crop.
the top. Yeah, the big one, Nick Wayne. I mean,
Mhm.
but that was already predestined. So if you ever look at it and you're like, oh, things are incestual, yeah, that was already predestined. Okay, like
Decent
day one.
operating promotions, all of them talk because
But I
if
will say,
mm,
yeah, I will say, you know, it's now at a point where, okay, there is a lot of choice that you can do. I don't think, like, one person that I will say as an example, that I don't think if WWE offered him money, I don't know if he would go. And that's Joey Janela. And
yeah,
I always think about that because I know, like, when he left AEW, when his contract ended and he walked away, he had said that he had lost a big part of himself when he signed. And I
mhm,
could see that. I've seen that with quite a few of them over there. Quite a few. And it's disheartening to me because, some of them I thought were good people, but end of the day, you know,
business is business.
guess not. But, you know, shame on me. But I think that, there are people that now there's a lot of choice that you can do. So, for
Mhm,
example, one is Ethan Page. So he did his first uh, non Alpha One Wrestling, because that's his promotion. That was the first indie he did after his release. But he did
mhm.
Wrestling Revolver in Dayton this week. And um, great to see him do it. It was his first time ever doing Revolver. I thought he'd done Revolver before, but I guess not. I went back to look. He did not. And that was a great card because on this card, you have a lot of TNA on there. Then fucking, of course, John Moxley had to show up, but it's Ohio. So,
Well,
whatever.
that's
Sammy will
history.
give us. Yeah, that's
That,
history too, because Sammy and all that shit.
yeah.
And then, you've got some great things like, you had a great, like, tag team, Crash
Mhm.
Jackson, Masha Slamovich, and Zachary Wentz versus the unit. Jessica Havoc, and JT Dunn, which JT Dunn got fired, by the way. For those who didn't
I'm
know.
aware,
Yep,
and
Sammy
I
fired him.
know that
Yeah.
um, Jessica Havoc got called out for rocking out to Masha's entrance. Somebody made fun of her because she was rocking out to it, and she responded with, "Why are you putting me on blast?"
Fucking Masha's got a fucking great entrance. God damn it! Shit.
She's a next champion. Like
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
signed, sealed, and fucking delivered champion.
Oh yeah, I fucking love her. And I will say that, again, we've I can't say any more good things about Revolver. I will say this: if you are going to WrestleMania next year in Las Vegas, you need to see Wrestling Revolver. Period.
Mm,
Find where they are and go.
yeah.
I'm already excited for that. The only way I won't go is that
Hmm.
Sammy's an ass and books it against Spring Break, but I know he won't do that.
No.
So Sammy's not dumb.
Sammy's smart business.
Sammy is smart business, and so he wouldn't do that to Lauderdale. So, yeah, because I think I don't know. I don't think Sammy's done GCW, but that's all CZW, all old drama. So I don't know about that. So, anyways, so definitely, you want to see that, but he'll be just fine. Like, I mean, Ethan Page is one of these people. I am so glad that people are buying his figure, and I think a lot of it is part of it. I feel it's part of, I don't want to say they feel bad, but it's like
People are
that's
supporting
kind of
him. They're
they're very
showing he's
supportive,
worthwhile.
and he is worthwhile. I mean, all of his content that he did, I miss his vlogs, and then he was doing the toy hunt ones, which I love to watch. And he's got great things going on. So
Hmm.
he's he's one that I've always been a very big fan of. So we'll
Hmm.
see what happens. I don't know if there's a home for him in WWE. I don't think so.
I think he would go NXT if given an opportunity.
If he did, yeah.
He's a guy worth investing.
He's a guy worth investing, yes, but I don't know how far he would go, because look at Trevor Lee. He's amazing.
Trevor Lee's good, but they're
Mhm.
grooming him to do bigger things. Look at Ilya Dragunov. Walked in,
The
kicked ass. Even his loss, he looked like a fucking monster.
Because that's how Ilya Dragunov is. I mean, if anybody's like really like go back, I tell people go back and look at some of those XWX matches, like from
They're
the
good
Carrot
people.
or the tag leagues, their global tag league. Okay. You can see Ring Conf, the original Ring Conf. Walter and
Yep.
Timothy Thatcher. Okay. It's like Jesus, these guys were monsters then, they're still monsters now.
Yeah.
Shingo Takagi, same thing. Bronson Reed, same thing. These guys are fucking great. And I'm just kind of like, that's the future. I think a person like Scorpio Sky, he would be great in NXT and building him that way. I think that for him, oh Jesus,
He would easily take over where Carmelo Hayes left off.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's what Ricky might have to do. I don't think that
I think he
he's
would do better working out of NXT as a start. And then when Ricochet bolts, because he will eventually, he knows he's coming up to the end of his career. That's a Ricky Starks position. That's what NXT is. They're that next generation coming up where they're a brand. They're learning how to function as a brand. They're learning how to do as a brand. They're learning how WWE works. So that
yeah, but here's where the thing with WWE and Ricky kind of will clash it, and I think a lot of it is because promos. He he's it comes from within. He doesn't he says he doesn't script it, but I know he at least thinks about what he's gonna fucking do, and then when he
well,
tries to do
as
it,
you
sometimes
should.
gets off as you should. But that he's got to realize if you're going there, there's a lot of your freedoms that you're going to have to lose.
Yes and no.
And
I mean, that's.
but he's not someone who can command that right now.
He should.
He should be, but no, it's the way he was booked.
Well, I really think, he should humble himself just a touch, go to NXT, build a brand on a far bigger stage,
Mm-hmm.
and become a Hall of Famer because that's in him. He's got it. He just needs to pursue it, and he's not going to get it at AEW.
No, I told him that back in the day. Okay, this is nothing new. I can't wait to see him sing good.
He's going to be gone, and it's going to be, well, what did you learn? Okay. Now,
yeah, I'm waiting for him to tell me.
You were right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, 4, because he has to put my name in it. And you're right. I'm like, yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to bring your attention to something while we're, because we're starting to get towards the end of things.
But yeah,
Have you been keeping an eye on the Uncle Howdy stuff?
not really. I
Okay.
kind of stopped because this week was kind of weird for me,
Mm-hmm.
and we did have one more piece of AEW that I wanted to bring
Okay.
up, but we can do that. Well, I don't know, but it's negative, so I don't want to close on a kind of a negative.
That's why we're talking about something positive.
Okay,
Like I know you.
yeah, you know, but
So
it's not me being negative though.
where did you leave off
The
with
last
the?
time it's been about at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that 2 weeks, they did a QR code which leads to a picture archive. Whereas you're walking, you're seeing post-it notes and things surrounding it, and then you see an article of a woman who went missing.
Mhm.
Okay. And people are like, oh, okay, what is this all about? Lots of speculation. They did last Thursday, and I'll give you the video. It's glorious. They did a 55-minute Twitch stream. No, it was almost to 15,000 people watching simultaneously. The lady was a psychologist or psychiatrist who was talking to someone. And as it's going on, they're flashing images, and people have missed, especially the dirt sheets, 4 images in that 55 minutes. The implication is that, whoever she's dealing with, which is feasibly Uncle Howdy, is that, do you want to meet them? Do you want to meet the rest of the family? And all these images kind of point to these people, right? Very cool. And it was also showing older images, kind of catching everybody up with QR codes, which is fun. So there wasn't anything Friday, but they started out showing one of Bray Wyatt's first matches was against Kane. The anniversary of that first match is Monday. So there's a good speculation that we're going to see something special with the Uncle Howdy gimmick, even some implications of seeing all of the members. And right now, the members are speculated as Joe Gacy,
Okay.
Dexter Loomis, Nikki
Okay.
Cross,
Okay.
Bo Dallas, of course, is Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan,
Mhm.
because he just re-signed.
Mhm.
And people initially were saying Alexa's not in, but during this 55 stream Thursday, she posted and then deleted, what is it? Something like, hi, I'm here, or something of that line, and then deleted it. Made some weird excuse about it. Okay. So there's your good core 5 right there. I'm missing someone, but it looks like Monday we're going to have some sort of tangible in terms of what's going on with the Songbird stuff.
Mhm.
Like they're now acknowledging it, like the desk, the commentary teams, they're acknowledging it now, which is cool. It's turned into. Are you familiar with an ARG?
No.
Like an alternate reality kind of game where people start up like a creepy pasta and the fans try to solve the puzzles and things of that nature.
Ah, okay, yeah. Mhm.
This is the similar line that they're going with. Um, and it's very interesting because a lot of it is talk about, you know, you guys had them, you've ignored them. I didn't change them, I accepted them,
Mhm.
which that's a very deep sort of thing, and it's going to come off where I think Bray Wyatt or Rotunda's vision is going to be it's going to be that thing. So positively, I think, if you've kind of stopped watching it, Monday, pick right back up.
Okay.
I'll give you the link should still be on WWE's Twitch of the VOD.
Okay.
I'm in there. A bunch of people we know are in there.
Mhm.
Fantastic work. Like, whoever's the producer behind this stuff, this is like when Bray had creative freedom to make the character in the Firefly Funhouse and
Mhm.
doing all that. This has that caliber being carried on in his name.
Nice.
Jey Uso has, he was very cool about that because people turn on the Fireflies when they're yeeting, and he acknowledged that, and he's like, "Thank you. I'm glad I have a small part of it. I have a small part of him,
Mhm.
which is cool." Like, we don't get to see these. We've been kind of spoiled recently with very cool
Mhm.
plot lines and very cool stories because I think we're looking at like a cult like sort of thing in the same vein as when the Wyatt family started, but more like this is going to get dark fast. Like Mankind in the 90s dark, where he
Hmm.
was in boiler rooms and bats and shit like that. I think we're going to see that level of dark. And I don't know about you, but I'm fucking here for it. I want to see the best work of Bo Dallas's career because he got fucked in his career. He did. No ifs,
He
ands, or
did.
buts.
Yeah.
And this is kind of his redemption arc. And I'm really glad that we're getting to see that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Like, I know Bliss has to be a part of it because she was very close to Bray. She was
Mhm.
very involved in what she was doing involved. She really enjoyed it. She really liked it. Rowan, he was there from the beginning.
Mhm.
Uh, Nikki Cross has been kind of semi-evolved because before she got taken off TV, you would see her standing in weird places, staring off into space and shit like that. Like she had
Mhm.
lost her fucking mind. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Dexter Loomis doing the same shit. Makes sense. Joe Gacy, fucking weirdo, comes off, very scary, very
Mhm.
demented. No brainer. Like, this is going to be amazing. And I can't wait to see it because if they're booked right, this is going to be that faction that people need to fear. Like,
Oh
the
yeah.
Judgment Day think they're going to run Monday Night Raw. That ain't going to be the case. I think we're going to see, because everybody needs a kind of a double faction thing.
Mhm.
Like the Legion of Doom and the Four Horsemen kind of gimmick. So like I can't put enough sunshine up whoever's asses about with this product because god damn, dude. They gave me a reason to watch. Not that I don't really care so much about the King of the Ring. I already kind of have an idea of where it's gonna go. My theory is, and mark my words, you heard it here first. Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. That's
I
where I
can see
think this
that.
is going.
Yeah. I can see that. Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah.
so far as the women's bracket, not quite sure, but the men's bracket, the Jey Uso Tama Tonga family fight, the bloodline gets involved. You have the ability to bring Jimmy, Jacob Fatu, who is signed. Like that would be a hellacious clusterfuck of people, and that again, we're getting spoiled right now.
We are.
So,
Yeah.
anywho,
Yeah. Well, speaking of Twitch.
mm-hmm. Oh yes, let's talk about that.
Oh yes. Okay. So I came across this today, mind you, and you know it's been very interesting because Kenny Omega is gamer, you know,
Yep.
So, he goes on Twitch and, plays usually like Street Fighter or those kind of games,
He's a
whatnot.
fighting guy.
Yeah, he's a
How
fighting guy.
How are
So,
you?
um, so, hey, Elliot, welcome around. Um, so Kenny, sometimes has had some really, interesting, just,
Dude, that
I,
promo went so fucking hard.
I don't even think it's okay. I don't even think it's a promo. A part of me wants us to play this clip so people can hear this for themselves
Hold on,
because
I got you.
okay, we
Hold
got
on.
it.
It's going to
Okay,
be dead on arrival. Everything is going to think of Bray. I think that's the point of it, Joseph.
yeah,
It's
they
going to
don't want to
elicit.
forget him. Yeah,
No, they've actually thrown in things surrounding him,
yeah.
which is cool. But you're right. We're going to have to wait and see.
Mhm.
Let me see here.
And on a side note, I'm kind of excited, and I'm thinking I need to research this, but I'm assuming there is a one of the Ricky Starks Darby. I call it Darby because he dressed like Darby and he's a babe. So I call him Darby. They have his chase. And I
Mm.
believe it is in USD because it doesn't say, but it's $60.95 plus shipping from the UK. Oh, so cheap. Ugh. Don't you people go try to buy it because I'll kill you. But yes, no. No, that's something that I don't have it. I really want it, and that's one I'd have him sign, and I wouldn't have him sign the other two.
Okay.
I have the other two. By the way, I did find it. I don't know if I told you else, but yeah, no. So you guys need to listen to this because okay, as I cue this up.
Let me see if I
So
can't pop this out.
yes, so Kenny Games and usually Michael Nakazawa is there with him because that's his BFFL, and it's kind of cool. He's had
And
some really interesting
some of the conduct of some individuals,
fodder before.
I just
This
realized,
one
man, did I look like that big of a
was
fucking ass
very
sometimes?
interesting.
And I
And if
remember
you've
having
not
that
heard it yet,
killer instinct, that
We're
mean
gonna-
streak,
uh,
that
we're
ego,
talking
if you
about
will.
At it right now.
It's the same one
yeah,
that
we're
Osprey
taking care of it
has.
right
You
now
know what I
for
mean?
you.
The guy
If you are
really,
watching
he
or
actually
listening, guess
really
what? This
struts
is
around
Kenny
calling
Omega
himself
that
the
we're playing,
best.
talking. No, it's
I
nobody
used to be
else,
that guy
just
too.
Kenny
Well,
Omega.
actually, I was never that bad. I let other
You can
people call me
find
the
it on
best.
YouTube.
Osprey just goes around
But
parading calling
Digi's
himself the best.
pulling
I
it
just
up right
can't stand
now.
that. I can't
So
stand when
Yeah,
people do
hold on
that.
a second here.
okay.
And like that kind of tips his hand. It's like, you know how he
while he's
really
doing
feels if it's
this,
only really him
trying
doing it
to
all the
be a really
time.
great hostess,
I'm the
but
best
I am
of 21st century. I'm the best. I'm the best wrestler you ever see.
dying over here.
And
Yes.
some of the
Okay.
conduct of some
Yes.
individuals,
So we
you
like to
know,
bring you
I just
guys
realized,
like different sides.
man,
of
did I look
things.
like that big of a
Now,
fucking
I'm gonna
ass
preface
sometimes?
this.
And I remember having that
We're not talking about
killer
this
instinct, that mean
because
streak,
of
that
maybe
ego, if you
the
will.
subject matter.
It's the same one that Osprey has. You know what I mean? The guy really,
We're
he
talking
actually
about it because
really
it's very
struts
interesting.
around calling himself.
Yes.
Very interesting. This is something we normally wouldn't talk about, but I had to show Digi this today. And yeah.
Oh no. This
Yeah.
is something worth talking about.
Yeah, because Digi didn't even know about it when I showed him it. He was like, oh. Yeah. So don't let us like hype you on this and then you're like, oh, that's lame. No, just you'll see where we're going with this. Because I'm pretty positive that nobody's talked about this yet. So we're of
No,
course the first
we
to
often
kind of
are.
do this. But we also don't, we're not like these other places that like are gonna fucking put that in the headline. No. Hell no. 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 No.
I want to make this as
Yes.
big as possible for everyone. Sorry for doing this on the fly. I didn't expect to be.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, he didn't expect me to go, hey, we're gonna throw this up here right now.
but
But you know what? It needs context because Digi didn't know this happened. And you guys probably didn't know this happened. So I don't want to say it's an exclusive because it's not an exclusive. It's just we want y'all to know. So yes.
All right.
So, all right. This ain't no dirt sheet, no nothing.
We don't do dirt sheets. We do
Nope.
facts.
We do.
We do facts and opinions. All right. Let me make sure.
I just
Can you hear it?
realized, man, did I look like that big of a fucking ass sometimes? And I remember having that killer instinct, that mean streak, that ego, if you will. It's the same one that Osprey has. You know what I mean? The guy really, he actually really struts around calling himself the best. I used to be that guy too. Well, actually, I was never that bad. I let other people call me the best. Osprey just goes around parading, calling himself the best. I just can't stand that. I can't stand when people do that. And you know, like that kind of tips his hand. It's like, you know how he really feels if it's only really him doing it all the time.
I'm the best of 21st century, brother. I'm the best wrestler you ever seen, brother.
That I've ever seen? I've seen myself. So go fuck yourself. But you're pretty good. I think it's great.
I don't feel like it's.
Oh, yeah, I'm cutting a promo, so I just switch screens, right?
Maybe it's me.
Well, I just cut a promo again. It's pretty good. But he ain't me. He wasn't me. Wasn't me, never will be me. Here's the thing. That guy goes around strutting around, fucking a lot of mean shit about yours truly.